Welcome to Venezuela Insider, the only place in Venezuela for expats, digital nomads, entrepreneurs, investors, travelers, and related internationals. For more information, venezuelainsider.com.
Today we are reviewing a video called Venezuelan Culture for a YouTuber called cara, and she talks about Venezuelan culture, of course, and about the marriage and how it works in society and such. So it's gonna be funny. First time that I watch it, so let's start.
Welcome to my YouTube channel. So today's video is going to be about Venezuelan culture. Big families are very common in Venezuela. Families usually live close to each other so they can help and support each other. Now more families are living apart because of the current crisis in Venezuela.
Okay, now she mentions that it also tends that these big numerous families tend to support other people within the family, and that happens on these numerous families. So yeah, of course, the younger people, when the elders of the family, they're not unable to work, they usually get supported by their younger relatives. So cool.
People who do leave try to send as much money as they can to help support their family. Traditionally, men are the breadwinners for the family and women are housewives. Now many women work to support their family. The grandmother is a very respected figure in Venezuelan culture. Adult children live with their family until they are financially independent or married.
Okay, she talks about how usually the role is kind of in the middle, the traditional gender roles. Families here, although it's expected that the male figure on the family is the main breadwinner. Also, the female side usually also works. Most likely, she has as an income that is not as great as his male counterpart. However, women also work and contribute to the finance of the family. Also mentions that the grandma of the family is a well-respected figure, and yes, it is. Also, with the grandfather, same thing as well. He's the patriarch of the family, if you want to call it like that. And also mentions that usually young people here live with their parents until they are financially stable in order to maybe purchase a home, or at least is on a very good financial condition in order to at least rent a home. So it's not uncommon that young people here live with their families on their mid-20s, even early 30s, depending on the economical situation overall. So pretty accurate.
The most popular religion in Venezuela is Catholicism.
The main religion here in Venezuela is Catholicism, although we have many variants of the religion, Christians, Catholics, and such. So pretty accurate, although we have a bunch of other religions. We have Muslims, we have Jewish, and maybe some niche miscellaneous religion, but however, for most likely, they're going to be Christians over 80% or some variation.
Has some similarities to Western countries, such as casual dating, although many Venezuelans aspire to be married by the time they are 30. People prefer to meet in a natural and organic way, such as through school, work, or through activities. 13 or 14.
Okay, first they talk about dating, and it is very similar to Western standards, although more traditional, but not as traditional as you might think. And usually there's kind of a very traditional culture and also a new age Western civilization culture. Usually it's more of the gender roles are separated, a little bit of feminism and new age kind of stuff, but it's between traditional and new age Western culture thing. Yeah, pretty much accurate as I'm seeing right now. And women expect usually to get married within the age of 30 years old.
14 is a typical age to start dating. Cat
Okay, women start dating 13, 14 years old. Well, yeah, depending on the family. Usually, when you have a good cohesive family unit, it starts later, on let's say 15, 16, 17, depending on the family. But usually, when the family unit is not united, is disarranged. For instance, women they raise there are single mothers and raising children, especially younger women. They start to dating younger, 13 years old, something like that.
calling is also an issue in Venezuela. Most women ignore catcalling, but some women actually enjoy being catcalled.
Okay, catcalling on Venezuela, it happens a lot. It's very frequent, and most women tolerate it, depending, of course, if a high value guy, they're gonna tolerate it better than it is some, lower end guy.
It is important to greet someone based on what time of the day it is. When meeting someone for the first time, you shake their hand and hold eye contact with them. Hugging and kissing on the cheek is more reserved for close friends and family. If you do become close with someone, you can give them a hug and a kiss on their right cheek. The old
Okay, yeah, when you greet someone, you do the handshake, and if you are greeting a female or between females, the kiss on the cheek is very accustomed when you have some sort of, confidence with the person, some rapport with the person, with the female, but it's not like when you meet a woman, if you're a male, you're gonna kiss her on the cheek, but let's say after the third, fourth time that you meet such women, you can is accustomed to do so. And if you have a lot of confidence with that person, you can do the kiss and the hug. And between males, we actually shake hands and hug when we know very well the person in question.
person is always the first person you will greet. Never address people by their first name. Use señor for a man, señorita for an unmarried woman, and señora for a married woman. When you are in
Okay, when you're addressing people, you say you call them by the first name, and also when you're meeting someone, you call them, and let's say an elder person or a more important person, let's say a boss on the office, you call it señor, and most of the time they're gonna tell you, no, don't call me señor, just call me by my first name, most of the time. And women here are called, if they're unmarried, called señorita, and if they're married, señora. Usually what happens with women over 30 years old is that they prefer to be called señoritas because they that makes them feel younger, regardless of their marriage situation. So just go by señorita and you're gonna be fine here in Venezuela when you're greeting women.
a group and are about to leave, you will go up to every single person and say goodbye. Nudging your arm or leg is a playful way people will try to prove a point in a conversation. Putting an arm around your shoulder is a way people tell you that they consider you a friend. Holding both your shoulders is how someone will show that they appreciate you.
Yes.
People stand close to each other when they talk. It is considered rude to move away from someone who is talking to you. Do not do the following 3 gestures in Venezuela. The gesture for okay. The gesture has homophobic undertones and it is considered offensive.
Like this gesture, it means like is offensive, or if you're doing it with some other male, they're gonna think you're calling him gay, something like that. So, okay is not an okay gesture here in Venezuela. Try not to do that. It's not a big deal. Just try not to do that.
It is very disrespectful to point with your index finger. Instead, you gesture to something with your entire hand. Beckoning.
Yes, don't point directly to one person. Just do something like that, or just go like this, or point the other way around. Not a big deal. Still, you avoid it. It is better.
Another disrespectful gesture is to beckon with your index finger. To beckon to someone, you will use your whole hand and wave towards yourself. Venezuelans are very honest and chatty. People often include personal stories in their conversations or anything else they think is interesting, which can make it difficult to get a straight answer from people. If someone has something bad or negative to share, they will usually share it with you in private.
That's absolutely true. Venezuelans have this thing that they are very mature in order to say things upfront when they are negative. They usually circle around the thing. They're very uncomfortable talking about negative things. So it's kind of a hassle when you have to have these serious negative conversations. So keep that in mind. Just one of the perks of living in Venezuela.
Venezuelans are expressive and use lots of body language when they communicate. But if they are speaking to someone who is of a higher social standing than them, they tend to speak softer and tone down their expressions. There is a hierarchy between people, and a big don't in Venezuela is to use the informal form of you, which is tú, because it is impolite. The formal form of you is usted. The informal form of you is only used for people that you know well. When people
Okay, that's a very important one when you're here in Venezuela. Well, and actually, I will say in every part of Latin America, the hierarchy, the social hierarchy is very important. Not the same thing dealing with someone, let's say, lower middle class, and I'm sorry if it sounds terrible, it is what it is. That when you're calling someone, you call it as you, it's called tú, is very informal. Oye tú is very informal and casual way. However, when it's someone with a lot of hierarchy, you call it usted. Usted is the formal you. Something that you keep in mind, not only in Venezuela, but in Latin America. Let's continue.
people are in groups, they tend to be louder. This is considered normal among Venezuelans, so it's very rude to tell a group of people to be quiet. Sarcasm and inside jokes between friends and family is very common in Venezuela.
Yeah, this is a funny one. Sarcasm is very common on Venezuela among Venezuelan people. Usually when they are close friends or they have some sort of rapport of confidence, something or a situation of that nature. Yeah, we use a lot of sarcasm, and actually, you probably pick on that on my videos as well. So yeah, I'm pretty sarcastic. What you want me to do? Okay, that will be all. On general review, it's a pretty good introduction for someone who is outside of Venezuela, usually from a Western nation like the US or Canada or Australia or Europe, you name it. Pretty good. I kind of enjoy it. So leave on the comments if you agree or disagree on such matters in Venezuelan society.
Thank you for watching Venezuela Insider. Please like, share, and subscribe. Follow us on social media. If you want to work with us, VenezuelaInsider.com. Thanks again and have a nice day.